The transmission arrived without warning. A cold, crystalline voice echoed through Earth's communication networks, reverberating in every corner of the globe, slicing through chaos and disbelief alike. "This is Admiral Zelkor of the Galactic Coalition. Your species is primitive and weak. Surrender your world, or face total annihilation." The words were clear, brutal, and utterly devoid of mercy. Captain Maya Reynolds sat rigid in the dim command center beneath the ruins of what once was a bustling metropolis. Around her, the air was thick with tension. Screens flickered, displaying the massive alien armada looming in Earth's orbit, vessels that blotted out the stars, their hulls gleaming with cold, unfamiliar metal. Beside her, Lieutenant Suresh leaned forward, jaw clenched. "They expect us to just give up. Like we're nothing." Maya's eyes never left the screen. "They don't know humans. They've never met us." Her voice was calm, but inside, a storm was raging. She recalled the countless drills, the sleepless nights spent training for a war no one believed would come. Now the war was here. The Coalition's fleet moved with merciless efficiency, deploying dreadnoughts and fighters in perfect formation. They were the galaxy's supreme power, ancient, advanced, and arrogant beyond measure. In the makeshift war room, world leaders argued in frantic whispers. Their voices were tinged with defeat. "We don't have the tech to fight them," one official admitted. "This is a death sentence." Maya cut in, voice steady and commanding. "Technology isn't everything. Humans survive because we adapt. We fight." She rose from her chair, pacing the cramped space. "This isn't just about weapons or ships. It's about spirit. And they've just made their biggest mistake." Outside the bunker's reinforced walls, sirens wailed and distant explosions echoed. Cities were already falling. But deep beneath the surface, a small team of human soldiers, engineers, and hackers gathered around Maya. "Captain, the ESRU is ready," said Sergeant Lewis, a battle-hardened soldier with a face weathered by countless skirmishes. "We'll do whatever it takes." Maya nodded. "Good. We start with a counterstrike, fast, precise, and unexpected. If they think we're weak, we'll show them just how wrong they are." Her gaze shifted to a digital map projected mid-air. The Coalition's flagship, a behemoth named the Valkar, hovered ominously near the moon. "Command Central, heart of the invasion." "We hit them there," Maya said, pointing. "Disrupt their command and communication. Without it, their fleet falls apart." Suresh glanced up. "A risky move? But it's the only shot we have." Minutes ticked by, thick with dread. Then the Coalition's broadcast returned, this time filled with mocking laughter. "Your primitive efforts amuse us." Admiral Zelkor's voice sneered through the speakers. "Resistance is futile. Your planet will fall, your species extinguished." Maya's jaw tightened. "They don't understand what humans are capable of," she murmured. Turning to her team, she commanded, "Prepare for immediate deployment. The next 5 minutes will decide our fate." The soldiers exchanged determined looks. Fear was present, but beneath it burned a fierce resolve. As they suited up, Maya's mind raced through every strategy, every contingency. The alien technology was superior, but their arrogance was a blind spot. "They think we're predictable," she whispered. "We'll show them chaos." Outside, the alien fleet began its assault, energy beams slicing through the atmosphere. Explosions lit the sky in fiery blossoms. But below, in the shadows of a world on the brink, humanity's last hope stirred. Maya glanced once more at the screen, heart steady despite the storm. "For Earth," she said quietly. The war was about to begin, and in 5 minutes, everything would change. The air was thick with tension inside the underground command center. Maya moved swiftly, her voice steady but urgent as she briefed the small team gathered before her. The room was sparse, a handful of battered consoles, flickering screens, and a rough digital map projected in midair, highlighting the massive alien fleet encircling Earth. "This is the plan," Maya began, her eyes sharp. "The Coalition's flagship, the Valkar, controls their entire operation. Disable their command, and the fleet's coordination collapses. We've got one chance to do this, and it has to be surgical. A murmur ran through the team. Engineers, soldiers, and hackers, a motley crew forged in desperation. Among them was Elena, a wiry engineer whose quick fingers and razor-sharp mind had saved Maya more than once during training drills. Beside her, Marcus, a former pilot-turned-hacker, tapped rapidly at a portable console, hacking into the Coalition's open channels. Lieutenant Suresh leaned forward, voice low but intense. Our tech is outdated. We're hacking into systems designed to withstand attacks from entire fleets. What's the edge? Maya met his gaze, unwavering. Ingenuity. They think we're predictable. They don't expect us to fight dirty. Marcus smirked without looking up. Dirty is our middle name. Elena held up a compact device, nothing larger than a handheld scanner but packed with scavenged tech and custom code. This pulse disruptor can fry the local sensors long enough for our strike team to infiltrate the flagship. Maya nodded approvingly. Exactly. We'll hit them where it hurts. The Coalition's arrogance blinds them. They're used to fleets bowing before them without resistance. Outside the command center, distant explosions punctuated the mounting chaos. The alien fleet had begun its systematic bombardment of Earth's outer defenses. City after city fell under relentless assault, fires raging unchecked. But Maya's focus was unwavering. She turned to Sergeant Lewis, his broad shoulders tense but resolute. You lead the strike team. Stealth insertion near the lunar surface. Take out their command nodes and plant the disruptors. Lewis gave a curt nod. We'll make every second count. The team dispersed to prepare, their movements a blend of urgency and grim determination. As Maya checked the coordinates one last time, Elena approached quietly. Captain, she said softly, voice tinged with doubt. If this fails... Maya cut her off gently. Failure isn't an option, Elena. Not today. Elena nodded, swallowing her fear. Meanwhile, high above Earth, aboard the Valkar, Admiral Zelkor's sleek metallic fingers danced over his control console. His eyes, sharp and cold, watched the incoming reports with a growing irritation. Still no sign of surrender. He muttered to his second-in-command, a lithe alien named Vrek. These humans cling to hope as if it will save them. Vrek shrugged. They're primitive, but stubborn. Zelkor's gaze hardened. Stubbornness is not strength. We shall crush it. Back on Earth, Maya assembled her team in the cramped drop chamber of the stealth shuttle. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation and fear. Remember, Maya said, voice steady. Our mission isn't just survival, it's to prove they underestimated us. Lewis grinned briefly. Let's remind them why humans fight. The shuttle's hatch sealed, engines humming as it launched silently toward the moon. Outside, the alien fleet loomed, vast and merciless, unaware that beneath their feet, humanity's finest were preparing to strike. Inside the shuttle, Elena monitored the pulse disruptor's charge. All systems green. We're good to go. Marcus adjusted his interface, fingers flying. I'm inside their comms grid. Feeding them false telemetry. They won't see us coming. Maya's eyes narrowed. Good. Timing is everything. Minutes passed, each heartbeat measured and intense. The shuttle slipped through shadows, cloaked by the lunar surface's jagged craters. Suddenly, alarms blared, red lights flooding the cabin. Detection! Marcus shouted, fingers darting over controls. They've picked up a faint signature. But it's unstable. We can work with this. Hold steady, Maya commanded. Prepare for immediate deployment. The hatch opened, and the team plunged into the black void, tethered to gravity boots and weapons drawn. They moved quickly across the barren terrain, shadows flitting between craters, sensors tuned to enemy patrols. Elena whispered into her comm. Pulse disruptor ready to deploy. Stand by. Ahead, the monstrous silhouette of the Valkar's command hub loomed, towering spires of alien metal etched with glowing lines of unknown energy. Lewis gestured sharply. Positions. On my mark. Maya's heart pounded, but her voice remained clear. Now. Elena activated the disruptor, sending a wave of electromagnetic interference cascading across enemy sensors. The alien patrols blinked out of existence on their scopes. "Move!" Lewis ordered. The strike team surged forward, breaching the command hub's outer defenses with precise, silent strikes. Inside, alien guards scrambled in confusion, disoriented by the sensor blackout. Maya led the charge, navigating corridors that pulsed with alien technology and eerie blue light. "Target is ahead," Marcus said, hacking open locked doors. They breached the central control chamber. Alien commanders turned, eyes wide with shock. "Humans? Here?" one hissed. Maya leveled her weapon, voice cold. "Underestimated us. Big mistake." Explosives were planted on critical systems, their timers set with surgical precision. Marcus worked feverishly, injecting viruses into the Coalition's networks, scrambling communications and crippling weapon controls. "Comm arrays offline," he reported breathlessly. "Fleet's coordination going dark." Outside, chaos erupted as alien ships faltered, their formations breaking apart like shattered glass. Maya's comm crackled with Sergeant Lewis's voice. "Commands down. Fleet's disarrayed. They're losing control." A slow smile spread across Maya's face. "Just like we planned." The pulse disruptor's effect began to fade, but by then, humanity's counterattack was already in motion. From Earth's battered surface, human ships surged forward, small, agile, and fiercely determined. Maya's team raced back through the craters, their mission a stunning success. As they reached the shuttle, Maya glanced back at the crippled command hub, glowing faintly under the lunar sky. "They thought we were weak," she whispered. "They have no idea." The battle had just begun, but for the first time, humanity held the advantage. And with fire and steel, they would prove that weakness was a lie. The black void above Earth trembled with fire and fury. Alien dreadnoughts, massive and merciless, loomed like celestial predators poised to strike. Beneath them, humanity's fragmented fleet surged upward, small, nimble vessels manned by desperate but determined pilots. Captain Maya Reynolds stood on the bridge of the Resolute, Earth's flagship cruiser, eyes fixed on the holographic display tracing the enemy's movements. The Coalition's forces moved with ruthless precision, their formations tightening, ready to crush resistance. Lieutenant Suresh, monitoring the comms, spoke sharply. "The Coalition fleet is adjusting, rerouting energy to their main batteries. They've realized the flagship's compromised." Maya's jaw clenched. "Good. That means our strike worked." A sudden blast rocked the Resolute, shaking the hull and throwing crew to the decks. Alarms blared. "Impact on the starboard side. Shields holding but weakening," reported Elena from engineering, her voice steady despite the chaos. Maya raised her voice. "Divert power to shields. Get the weapon systems online." Outside, swarms of alien fighters darted forward, sleek and deadly. Human ships dodged and weaved, trading fire in a deadly dance. "Pilots, hold formation. Target their fighters first," Maya commanded. Among the pilots was Sergeant Lewis, his voice crackling over the comm. "We're taking heavy losses, but we're holding. Humans don't give up." In the heat of battle, the Resolute's tactical officers spotted a gap in the Coalition's defense, a narrow corridor between two massive dreadnoughts. "Captain, this opening could allow our strike team direct access to the enemy's command bridge," Elena said urgently. Maya nodded. "Send in the stealth unit. This is our chance." Meanwhile, in the eerie corridors of the crippled Valkar, Maya's strike team pressed deeper into alien territory. The air hummed with foreign energy, and every shadow held a potential threat. "Keep moving. We've got less than 10 minutes before they reroute power," Maya reminded, voice low but firm. Marcus hacked a nearby control panel, fingers flying. "I'm opening a backdoor to their internal network. Should give us some control." Alien sentries, sleek and deadly, appeared suddenly, alerted by the system breach. "Contact!" Lewis shouted, raising his pulse rifle. A brief firefight erupted, sharp, brutal, silent as bullets tore through metal and flesh. Maya's team moved like shadows, striking fast and disappearing. Clear! Elena confirmed, planting charges along critical conduits. Marcus's voice came urgent. Viruses uploaded. Comm arrays will go dark in 60 seconds. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alien reinforcements had arrived. Time's running out, Maya said, signaling retreat. Back on the Resolute, the Coalition fleet faltered. Alien communications buzzed with confusion. Command is unresponsive. Repeat, command is unresponsive, came the frantic reports. Admiral Zelkor's voice cracked through the static, sharp and furious. Regroup and hold position. Do not engage without orders. The order never came. Without direction, the massive warships collided and turned blindly, exposing weak points. Human pilots seized the moment, launching missile barrages and precise laser strikes. Target the exposed flanks, Maya barked. Explosions rippled across the enemy fleet. Starships erupted in fireballs, their proud forms reduced to drifting wreckage. Suresh's voice trembled with awe. They're breaking apart, like glass. On board the Valkar, chaos reigned. Alien officers scrambled to restore systems, but the viral attacks crippled every effort. Maya's team raced through the corridors, narrowly avoiding collapsing walkways and energy surges. We're almost at the bridge, Marcus said, sweat beading on his brow. As they burst into the command chamber, they found Admiral Zelkor himself, eyes blazing with fury. You dare? He hissed, drawing a plasma blade. Maya leveled her weapon. We dared to fight. A fierce duel erupted, steel clashing with determination. Around them, the ship trembled, systems failing. Outside, the last alien fighters attempted a retreat, but human ships blocked their path. Lewis's voice crackled urgently. Charges set. Detonation in 30 seconds. Maya's duel ended with a swift move. Zelkor collapsed, stunned but alive. Mission accomplished, she whispered, retreating with her team. Back on the Resolute, the countdown began. Detonation imminent, Elena warned. Maya gripped the console. Brace for impact. The flagship exploded in a cataclysmic blast, shockwaves tearing through space. The Coalition fleet, leaderless and shattered, broke formation completely. Maya exhaled slowly, heart pounding. We've done it! The impossible! Suresh smiled grimly. Humans still stand. The battle was far from over, but for the first time, Earth held the upper hand. And in the silent void of space, a new respect was born, one born of fire, steel, and unyielding human spirit. The moments that followed were a blur of calculated chaos. With the Coalition flagship crippled and their fleet thrown into disarray, Earth's forces seized the narrow window of opportunity that opened like a sudden wound in the fabric of space. Captain Maya Reynolds stood at the helm of the Resolute, her fingers gripping the console so tightly that her knuckles whitened. Around her, the bridge crew worked with silent urgency, eyes flicking between screens filled with streams of data and the distant flashes of battle. Lieutenant Suresh's voice cut through the tension, crisp and focused. Enemy fleet command is offline. We're detecting disorganized movements across all sectors. This is our moment. Maya didn't hesitate. All units, full assault. Push forward with everything we've got. Outside the ship's viewport, the alien armada, once an intimidating force that blotted out the stars, now appeared fractured and vulnerable. Ships that had carried the arrogance of conquest now darted erratically, some attempting to retreat, others desperately firing blind volleys. Sergeant Lewis's voice crackled over the comm channels, edged with fierce resolve. Our fighters are hitting their broken formations hard. Enemy morale is cracking. As the Resolute surged forward, Maya's mind raced through the possibilities. The Coalition's power had been shattered in less than 5 minutes, a feat no one thought possible. But she knew better than to let complacency seep in. Victory required ruthlessness and precision. In the war-torn corridors of the Valkar, the Coalition's flagship, Maya's strike team pressed on through flickering lights and crumbling passageways. The explosions they'd set earlier rippled through the ship's systems, but residual energy fields still pulsed ominously. "We need to secure the control core," Maya ordered, voice low and steady. "Without it, the ship is a dead husk." Marcus scanned his portable interface, hacking into the remaining active nodes. "I'm detecting a security lockdown on the core. It's a tough one, but not impossible." Elena tightened her grip on her pulse disruptor, eyes darting around the dim, alien architecture. "Time is running out." They moved swiftly, every step shadowed by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Alien patrols, though disoriented, remained lethal. A sudden burst of plasma fire illuminated the corridor, forcing the team to dive for cover. Lewis responded with practiced precision, neutralizing the threat before it could regroup. "We're getting close," he called. Maya felt the weight of the mission, not just on her shoulders but on every human life depending on their success. They reached the control core chamber, its walls pulsating with an eerie blue glow. Marcus knelt at the console, fingers flying across the alien interface. "Bypassing the lockdown, now?" A hiss echoed as doors slid open. The core's energy surged, a volatile heart of power that regulated the flagship's functions. "Plant the charges," Maya commanded. Elena carefully set the explosive devices at strategic points around the core. "Charges are live. 10 minutes to detonation." Marcus uploaded a final virus, his voice tense. "This will scramble their internal systems, ensuring no quick repairs." Outside, the Resolute and Earth's fleet hammered the disorganized coalition forces with relentless firepower. Explosions blossomed like deadly flowers across the battlefield. The alien warships, once the epitome of superiority, were now floundering. Back on the flagship, alarms blared in shrill cacophony. Alien commanders scrambled, their earlier arrogance replaced by panic. Admiral Zelkor, though wounded and restrained, bared his teeth in fury. "They will pay for this insolence." Maya's calm crackled. Lewis's voice was sharp. "Captain, the enemy is attempting a last-ditch counterattack." Maya's gaze hardened. "Hold the line. Our moment is now." The final minutes ticked away with heart-stopping speed. The control core chamber rumbled as the charges neared detonation. Marcus glanced at the timer, exhaling slowly. 30 seconds. They sprinted toward the exit as the ship shook violently, metal groaning under stress. Outside, the flagship erupted in a brilliant cascade of light and fire, the blast wave rippling through the surrounding fleet. The disarrayed coalition vessels faltered, their systems crippled beyond repair. Maya's voice resonated through the calm channels, calm and commanding. "Enemy fleet is retreating. Pursue but don't overextend." As the echoes of battle faded, Maya allowed herself a brief moment to absorb the magnitude of what had just occurred. Lieutenant Suresh approached, face solemn yet proud. "In 5 minutes you changed the course of this war." Maya met his eyes, voice steady. "We showed them humanity isn't a weak species to be dismissed." The bridge erupted with quiet cheers and relieved smiles, but Maya knew the fight was far from over. In the silence that followed, she looked out into the star-streaked void and whispered, "This is just the beginning." For in those 5 furious minutes, humanity had carved its place in the galaxy, not as prey, but as a force to be reckoned with. The cold silence after the storm was deafening. Captain Maya Reynolds stood on the observation deck of the Resolute, gazing out at the shattered remnants of the Galactic Coalition fleet drifting aimlessly through the void. Streaks of burning wreckage glowed faintly against the backdrop of stars, a silent testament to humanity's unexpected triumph. Behind her, the hum of the ship's systems was steady, a comforting reminder that Earth's flagship still sailed, scarred but undefeated. Lieutenant Suresh approached, his footsteps soft on the metal floor. "It's hard to believe it's over. They actually broke." Maya nodded, eyes fixed on the distant horizon. "They never expected us to fight back like this. Not in 5 minutes." Suresh's voice was quiet. "Do you think they understand now? That humans aren't just primitive animals?" "Maybe," Maya replied. "But respect is a hard lesson. It's earned in blood and fire." In the war room below, Holographic displays flickered with updates. The Coalition's surviving vessels had begun a slow, disorganized retreat. Messages from distant command centers crackled with confusion and defeat. The galactic superpower's arrogance had been shattered as swiftly as their fleet. Sergeant Lewis entered the deck, wiping grime from his face. "They're pulling out. No one's chasing them." Maya turned, meeting his tired but victorious gaze. "Let them go. We need to regroup, heal what we can." Lewis smirked faintly. "A retreat is a victory in its own right." Maya allowed herself a brief smile before turning serious. "But this war isn't over. It's just a new beginning." Across Earth, news spread like wildfire. Cities awoke from the shadow of despair to cheers and tears. Humanity had survived, against impossible odds, and in doing so, had announced its presence to the cosmos. Back aboard the Resolute, Maya convened with her core team. Elena leaned over schematics of the damage sustained during the battle. "We've got work to do," she said. "Repairs, rebuilding, preparing for whatever comes next." Marcus tapped his tablet thoughtfully. "The Coalition won't forget this. They'll be back, stronger and angrier." Maya's gaze swept over the faces of those around her. "Then we'll be ready. We've seen what we're capable of when pushed to the edge." The mood was sober but resolute. There was no room for complacency, only determination. Suddenly, a message flickered onto the main console, an encrypted transmission from the remnants of the Coalition fleet. Maya frowned and signaled Marcus. "Decrypt it." Seconds later, the message played, its tone formal but tinged with an unexpected note of respect. "Humans of Earth, this is Admiral Vrek of the Galactic Coalition. Your courage and strength in defense of your world have been noted. While our conflict ends today in your favor, know that we do not underestimate you anymore. We withdraw with caution and will reconsider our approach to your species." The room fell silent. Maya's voice broke through softly. "They acknowledge us. That's the first step toward peace." Suresh nodded slowly. "Or the first step toward a new war." Maya sighed. "Either way, humanity has earned its place. We will face whatever comes with open eyes." Later, as the Resolute drifted closer to Earth's orbit, Maya stood once more on the observation deck, the blue planet glowing beneath her like a fragile gem. She thought of those lost, friends, soldiers, innocents caught in the storm, and the countless lives forever changed. But she also saw something else, a future where humanity was no longer the galaxy's underdog. A future defined by resilience, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit. As Earth's light washed over her face, Maya whispered to the stars, "We are here. And we will never be weak again." 4.1 Mini